Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. More problems for Stellantis vehicles. They're saying Europe more than 750 vehicles has to be recalled for motive of for something. Must be pretty serious shit now, as usual. Or was it a million, which I heard? Probably a million. And this includes the new Grande Panda and Alfa Romeo Jr. Now, these cars have got nothing to do with Fiat or Alfa Romeo speaking type of engine. They have that shitty engine, 1.2 PureTech 3-cylinder, which they made 3 versions, generations of them. One's more bad than the other. And now they came out with the one which will be on board the so-called, what you might call it, hybrid version of the vehicles of Stellantis. A great achievement which they made. It's just other snake oil they sell. And why do you think we come to the point they make shitty engines? Well, what can I say? Cost cuttings to give more dividends to the shareholders, which is around about 18.6 billion euros, which they've done last year. And that means for the quality of the components which you use in the cars, and even the quality of the assembly as well, very shoddy, especially on the so-called Fiat 500i, which I put an engine underneath it. I think it's Firefly of the Fiat, one of the last Fiat engines. All the rest they sent off overseas to America and Brazil, which were a Grande Panda, which we know as the Fiat Uno, in Brazil, will be made next year. But we won't mount an electric engine, nor an engine of the family of the PureTech. They're going to use those traditional Fiat engines, which are class fire, because it's required by Brazilian law. Everything has to be made there, even the engine as well. So all the machinery and tooling, half it's gone to America and half it's gone to Brazil to cater with this production line. Amazing enough, the Peugeot 208s, even in the make there, will be equipped with this engine of the Fiat, which is called Firefly, instead of the shitty engines which I put underneath these cars anyway. I wonder why. Probably the fact it has to be made there. The problem is you can't take a bit of production, which is currently Morocco, China and Poland, which they make these 1.2 engines, in Brazil. And regarding the recall of these Stellantis cars, which I mentioned, it's not just new cars. It's in a year bracket, manufacturing years were between 2023 and up to 2025. And the fact is, Stellantis knew they were cut costing on the production and the quality of the components which you use, and then even assembly quality, the finished product is absolute shit. To make a dishonest profit. And how do you think the customers who bought these cars feel? I think they will be pretty pissed off for the fact they spend a hell of a lot of money for a pile of junk. And I don't think the Stellantis will ever gain an honest reputation, they are marked for life. Because the next car these punters are going to buy, it won't be a Stellantis. And quite so, they shouldn't buy a Stellantis. I think there's a saying, once bitten and twice shy. I don't think people should be shagged yet again due to these people who are absolutely dishonest in this company, really. And they say about the Volkswagen Dieselgate, I think the Stellantis, I think we're only the tip of the iceberg. All these recalls, class actions, which people in France and Spain was promoted by consumer movements. They knew these engines were pure shit. Why didn't they stop them to be used in the production, or try to modify them to improve them? No. All these 3 generations of PureTech engines, and even the 1.5 diesel engine, it's absolute, got engineering flaws, absolute fucking shit. Imagine you have to change a belt which is inside the engine before 50,000 kilometers, or even before. If you don't change it before, that belt just disintegrates and damages the whole engine. And what costs to rebuild the engine to repair these cars? It's not worth the while. Stellantis don't pull their act together, reusing the old Fiat engines, which was just as well economical to produce here in Italy, economical to as maintenance for the customers, without conning them to spend money to take it to the garage, which they're equipped to do this type of mechanic operation. That is conning people. I think these days people want an efficient, economical, good quality vehicle. As simple as that. Not something which is costs as God knows what, as one of those big vehicles practically. We're talking about the Fiat 500i petrol engine, starting prices of 18,000 now. You've got to be kidding. Regarding the city cars, most manufacturers, not just Stellantis, is eliminated because it's not profitable. It could cost the same amount to make a city car and an SUV, which are more bigger vehicles, and put all this safety gear inside, which the European Union requires, which is absolutely unnecessary. Just only makes the purchase of the vehicle more expensive. Terminal electronics, at the end of the day, will just create more problems. Will Stellantis put that act together? I doubt so. Their reputation as a car manufacturer is coupled. And sincerely, if you offer me one of these cars for free, I'll say no. I'll just resell it. Fucking buy a Japanese car, or second-hand one. I'll go for the old Fiat cars, which are a lot more better than the modern ones which they make today.